Well, another good weekend of NASCAR racing has come and gone, everybody. And now I'm gonna talk about it. What's going on, everybody? This is Chase fan number 9 here. And in this video, I'm gonna be talking about this past weekend's races at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for Cup Xfinity and trucks. So, the West Coast sweep without Auto Club Speedway has begun. But however, though, it's unfortunately almost over because we have Phoenix this upcoming weekend for just Cup and Xfinity only, and ARCA 2, and I'll leave it at that. I hope next year, well, I've said already, but I'll say it again. I hope next year I will, well, I hope to go to Auto Club next year. If not, then I'll just watch the race as usual on my TV, just like I always do. But anyways, yeah. Before we get into anything, I hope that, well, one of my subscribers went to this past weekend's races. Random KDM fanboy. I hope you had a good trip, and I hope your next trip to Vegas will be just as good as this one you had this past weekend. So, good luck, man. So, where do I begin? The truck race. The truck race was really good. The first two stages were decent. They were really quiet, but the last stage, there were a bunch of wrecks and all that. There was a big one that happened late. There were a bunch of wrecks. The 04 of Corey Roper wrecked twice. 10 of, well, about half of the Camping World sponsored trucks were wrecked, including Creed, Lassard, Anderson, and all that. I think Awuji, McLeod, Benning, Enfinger, and Kligerman went through the whole race unscathed. And by the way, seeing Grant Enfinger in a truck other than ThorSport or GMS looks really weird, but hey, at least he made the most of it because he did get a top 10, and he and Parker Kligerman were both the highest finishing Camping World sponsored trucks. At least they got some money from Marcus Lemonis, whose promotion of Camping World to be on these trucks, I think it's a good move on his part. So yeah. But for the race, I wasn't surprised by the fact that Kyle Busch was in it. Thought it was gonna be the Kyle Busch show, but thank God it wasn't that wasn't the case. I mean, well, okay, granted, he did lead a couple laps, but he didn't dominate the race, like lead 100+ laps or something. Instead, it was his driver. It was actually one of his drivers / teammate, John Hunter Nemechek, who dominated most of the race. And what does he do? He ends up winning the race. And I know that this will be the first of many to come this season. And I'm actually really proud of John Hunter Nemechek. He's made the Ford truck more relevant since 2017. Now, I like Todd Gilliland and Raphael Lassard and all that, but those two underdeveloped in that Ford truck. No hate towards them. I hope Lassard and Gilliland win at least a race or two this year. I hope. Where? I don't know, but I hope they do. And like I said, there were lots of wrecks in the race. One notable wreck was Connor Daly, who overcorrected into the outside wall of turn 2. It was a hard hit, but I was glad to see him get out okay. And why is it every time we come to Las Vegas for the Truck Series, Derek Kraus always has an issue? I don't understand. Sometimes I say that, and next thing you know, they'll be running good and get a good result the next time they come back to the same track. But I hope that's the case, and Derek Kraus gets a good finish next time we come to Vegas in September, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, yeah. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the Xfinity race. That race was good as well, just as good as the truck race. Oh yeah, another thing we saw this weekend was a bunch of crazy restarts. We saw tandem drafting, side drafting, and all that. And there was bump drafting where drivers were just riding behind one another. We saw drivers run the high lane, the bottom lane, and the middle. We even saw 3, 4, and I believe we saw 5 wide this weekend as well. Oh, and forgot to mention this. Back to the truck race. The one thing that um, kind of hampered Kyle Busch from winning was the fact that he cut a tire during the race and then he spun out. Um, and I'm pretty convinced. Well, we all know that if you damage your car or truck doing so, and they have to put tape on it, it will kind of affect the aero depending on where the damage is, and it kind of pretty much kind of affected Kyle Busch's chance of winning there. But nonetheless, he did make a great rebound, which I'm not gonna lie about, and came back to finish second. And now, well, I learned earlier today that that NASCAR is looking to the fact that Kyle Busch might have spun intentionally. We don't know yet, but if something comes of it, I'll make a video. But anyways, back to the Xfinity race. So yeah, that race was just as good as trucks. And like I said, there was a bunch of crazy racing. There were some incidents in the race, like Stefan Parsons wrecking all that. And then there was the wreck with Ty Dillon when he spun in turns 1 and 2 and collected Riley Herbst, who once again just wrong place, wrong time. You know what? I'm sorry, guys, but I'm starting to feel really bad for Riley Herbst. At this point, I just hope he gets at least a win or two. I honestly don't care what anyone says. I could be biased. I know deep down I might be biased about it, but still though. Where? I don't know. But for the race, Daniel Hemrick dominated most of the race. I think he led like 70 plus laps or something. And however though, he just had to come up second once again. Getting closer, everybody. But thankfully, one of my new favorite Xfinity driver, California native AJ Allmendinger, managed to get the win. Thank God. I was happy. My mom was happy. AJ was happy. Mr. Tickles was happy. Everyone was happy to see him win. I'm like, AJ's really come a long way. And I had a good feeling he was going to win on an oval track again. At first, I thought Atlanta was going to be the only one, but now that afterwards, I thought about it and I thought to myself, you know what? I think AJ's going to win some more oval races in the future. Which ones? Not sure. And sure enough, he delivered on Saturday. And I didn't think AJ was going to win early on this season, but he did, and I'm happy about it. I hope this is the first of many to come this year, and I hope Jeb Burton and Justin Haley get to victory lane this year as well. And also, I know that Ian Perez 48 was thrilled to see AJ win, that's for sure. So, really happy for AJ and Ian Perez 48. But anyways, Cup race. You know, for the Cup race, racing at Las Vegas with the shitty 550 horsepower package, that was actually a really good race. And I did mention it on my Twitter, so make sure to go check that out. But yes, it's true, and you can't deny that. It's because they showed during a segment during the race that they had the taper spacers, and that really played into that. So yeah. But anyways, the race, it got underway. It was cool to see Raiders quarterback Derek Carr give the command. Harvick led the field to the green, but he dropped like a rock once the race got going. The Penske cars were up at the front. The Hendrick cars were up there. The Gibbs guys were up there. And there were a bunch of lead changes in that race. Hamlin, Keselowski, Logano. I think Truex had a go at the lead. Byron, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson. They all had turns up at the front. Ryan Blaney, he started deep in the field, but he made his way up to the front, flirted around the top 5, top 10. Christopher Bell flirted around with the top 10 a little bit. Eric Jones had was also running up there. Jones had a good race, by the way. Um, so yeah, there were different strategies also this weekend. There were times where drivers would come to pit road and some would stay out, and the ones who stayed out usually got swallowed up on the restarts. Not a shocker. Like Kyle Larson late in stage one, he stayed out during the last caution of stage one, and he fell out of the top 10, costing him some stage points, which went to Brad Keselowski, who won stage one after an amazing battle with my guy Chase Elliott. And as for Larson, he did redeem himself with a stage win in stage two, that's for sure. And there were some issues during these pit stops, like there were times where drivers would get stuck behind another driver, and it would cost them time. Driver Alex Bowman got a violation for what was it? For overshooting the pit box and all that. So yeah, there were a bunch of issues, but there definitely wasn't any for Kyle Larson, because he definitely led a handful of laps. He led just as many laps as Byron did last weekend. And after the last pit stop, I was like, please no BS yellow. And thankfully that did not happen, as Kyle Larson managed to take the white flag and hold off Brad Keselowski for his 7th win of his career and his first at Las Vegas. Wow. Gotta admit, whether if you love him or hate him or want to cancel him or whatever, Larson redeemed himself. Yes, I know. Sorry, my grandma was trying to tell me something. But anyways, yeah, Larson redeemed himself. And the good sportsmanship from Bubba Wallace and Brad Keselowski, that deserves actually 2 thumbs up for sure. And just know, the more Hendrick keeps winning, the closer they get to not only tying Petty Enterprises for 268, but they get closer to the milestone number of 300 for Hendrick Motorsports. Who's going to get that 300th win? We'll just have to wait and see. Where is it going to be at? Well, we'll just have to wait and see on that too. And for the fact that Larson won in the Ricky Hendrick throwback, rest in peace to Ricky, it's a really cool deal right there. I hope I can get the diecast if they sell in the 164. So, how do I rate the races this weekend? Well, the truck race, I would give it a 8 out of 10. The Xfinity race, I would give it also an 8 out of 10. And the Cup race, a 9 out of 10. So, yeah. But anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'll see y'all this weekend for the Xfinity and Cup races at Phoenix. And with that, thank y'all for watching this video. Let me know what you think down below with that. I'll see y'all in my next video. Alright. Bye-bye, everyone.